What if I told you you could gain extraordinary strength and fulfillment in life from being alone? Yes, the concept of aloneness is daunting, but when you look at it through the life and works of a man like Miyamoto Musashi, it becomes an art with immense potential for self-transformation. Throughout Musashi's life, he spent a great deal of time alone, examining his conscience, understanding nature, and discovering himself. The fruits of his solitary lifestyle are visible in his impact, and that is why his words remain relevant hundreds of years after he walked the earth. Thankfully, before he left, he compressed his learnings from solitude into a book he titled Dokkodo, or The Path of Aloneness. Today, we will be looking at the gems in Dokkodo, and by the end of this video, you will have learned how to walk alone toward your purpose by using the teachings of Miyamoto Musashi. Who was the great Musashi? Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584 in a severely fractured Japan. He grew up learning war as a way of life, and within this tumult, he became a respected swordsman. He was only 13 when he killed his first opponent in his first duel. And, for most of his life, he would win 60 such life or death duels on his way to becoming a kensei or sword saint. However, in his adolescence, Musashi found himself on the losing side of a great battle. So he disappeared and became a ronin, a lordless samurai. During this period, he traveled all over Japan, picking up and improving his many artistic interests. He developed his own sword-fighting style. He created paintings, sculptures, calligraphy, and poetry that have stood the test of time. However, his greatest gift to us was Dokkodo, a book of his meditations on aloneness. Through Dokkodo, it becomes apparent that Musashi's sharpest weapon was not his katana. It was his clear and focused mind, sharpened by a lifetime of practicing aloneness. Loneliness versus aloneness. Most people fear being alone because they cannot differentiate between loneliness and aloneness. With loneliness, you feel a cutting sense of rejection by society. You feel unloved and disconnected, and this could lead you to withdraw into the dark hole of depression. However, as Musashi displayed, intentionality is what separates loneliness from aloneness. Musashi voluntarily secluded himself, not from society, but from distractions that could obstruct his self-actualization and psychological evolution. Although he was a devout Buddhist, Musashi was not a fan of monkhood. He saw no reason to isolate himself from the world and live in a hermitage. Rather, he practiced a profound mental isolation that purged his mind of the cloudiness that stops most people from realizing their best selves. Dokkodo, The Path of Aloneness. There is no better way to explain Musashi's thoughts on aloneness than through Dokkodo. He completed the book a week before he died in 1645 to inspire the coming generations with his wisdom of going forth alone. In Dokkodo, Musashi outlined these 21 principles that can help you also find your path by walking alone. Number 1, accept everything the way it is. To find harmony with nature, you must live without trying to change situations beyond your powers. Number 2, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. The trap of pleasure restricts your potential for self-mastery. Like life itself, pleasurable sensations are fleeting, so it is futile to seek pleasure as an end. Number 3, do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Here, Musashi instructs you to avoid living with a rash mind. You cannot afford to act on incomplete thoughts that lead to irrational actions and their unwanted consequences. Number 4, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. You should never take yourself too seriously. Ground yourself daily by remembering you are one of 8 billion people in this world. You are a unique one, but nevertheless, just one. The universe will open itself to you when you make it your mirror. Number 5, be detached from desire your whole life long. Our unrestrained desire for stuff deprives us of relishing the gift of the present. So, we must tame such desires whenever they rise in our hearts. Number 6, do not regret what you have done. Regrets only steal valuable time from your life. So you should never waste your life wishing you could fix what has already passed. Number 7, never be jealous. Without contentment, you will never be happy. Someone out there will always have something better than yours. So, you will only find true blissfulness when your possessions become enough. Number 8, never let yourself be saddened by a separation. This does not only refer to the people you lose, whether to death, distance, or dissociation. You need to let go of thoughts and emotions that hold you back on your journey. Most times, the only obstacle to discovering your purpose is your attachment to your current identity. Number 9, resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Hatred is poison. If you hate yourself, your life will be miserable and full of negativity. However, directing this hate toward others is not any better and will not make you less miserable. Number 10, do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Your heart will lead you astray, but your head will show you the way. Lust and love are blinding emotions that must not override your mind if you intend to find your way. Number 11, in all things, have no preferences. We tend to fool ourselves with the illusion of better options, when in fact, everything has its merits and demerits. Number 12, be indifferent to where you live. Your physical environment can be a source of pain or power, but when it means nothing to you, you can be the same person wherever you find yourself. Number 13, do not pursue the taste of good food. Even at a time with fewer varieties of food, Musashi knew the excessive need to satisfy your taste buds could hinder your spiritual progress. Number 14, do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Again, this has little to do with the cars and clothes you do not use. The benefits of decluttering your physical space are enormous. But more importantly, you have to rid your mind of thoughts and emotions that no longer serve you. Number 15, do not act following customary beliefs. This was why Musashi stood out among his contemporaries. He was not a conformist, and you should not be. You must question customary precepts that are designed to restrict your self-expression. Number 16, do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. Unlike most swordsmen, Musashi never got carried away by his love for blades. He practiced temperance in everything he did. You also have unhealthy appetites you need to curtail. So, be honest with yourself and make the necessary adjustments. Number 17, do not fear death. To defeat your anxieties, you must first overcome your fear of death. When you realize that death is only a result of being born, nothing will faze you. Number 18, do not seek to possess either goods or fiefs for your old age. This speaks directly to our overly materialistic world. Our unchecked thirst for material things has created a soulless society that you must separate yourself from to practice Dokkodo. Number 19, respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. You can believe in anything, but never make your faith an excuse for slothfulness. It's a grand act of delusion to call on a higher power to do for you things you can do for yourself. Number 20, you may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Musashi grew up in a world where a man's honor was more important than his life. But even in a modern world where human dignity has a price, you must protect your honor at all costs. Number 21, never stray from the way. Dokkodo as a way of life is not an easy practice, especially in a world full of distractions. To maintain your focus on this solitary path, you must check in with yourself regularly and retrace your steps whenever you stroll off the path. The goal of practicing Dokkodo is not to become Miyamoto Musashi, but to master being alone for your own advancement and well-being. You need to consistently retire into the privacy of your mind by utilizing self-reflection, meditating frequently, practicing mindfulness, and applying the above 21 principles in your life. These habits help Musashi find and achieve his life's purpose, and they can do the same for you. One last thing, If you want to learn more about how to succeed with philosophy and stoicism, don't forget to like this video to spread the word and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing content. Until next time.